Well, hello and welcome to another episode of OffSite Dirt. My name is Mark Wille, and today we're covering high performance. We have our friends from NIACC and a special edition of the Habitat for Humanity project they're working with. Audree, how would you like to kick us off today?
Makes me excited to see how things are expanding and our community keeps getting bigger and bigger. Not to mention how we are talking with community colleges now that are creating these amazing programs for their students. So today we have a Gregg. And Gregg, I would love for you to tell our audience a little bit more about your background, and then we'll go to Jennifer. So please, Gregg, take it away. Give us your background.
Thank you, Gregg Helmich from North Iowa Area Community College, and grateful to be here. I, grew up building things with my dad. We built an A-frame cabin on the side of the hill with no power. So it was the old post hole digger method and everything. Learned how to work hard. Even traveled on the road a couple of years with a Christian rock group back in the 80s, but came back to that idea that I remembered my shop classes, working with my dad with my hands, and just the value and the satisfaction from starting with a raw material and ending up with something usable was just enough to steer me in the direction of getting a teaching certificate to do. Those were the people I admired in my life, were my shop teachers. And so ended up doing that for 15 years. And now I've been doing community college for 16. So this is my 31st year of teaching and still loving it, just having a blast.
Oh my gosh, that's wonderful. Thank you for sharing your background. Jennifer, how do you tie into this story? Give us a little bit of your background and how you support NIACC.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for having me. I'm Jennifer Breister, Vice President of Crown Point Builders in Garner. And I also represent our local Habitat for Humanity as the board president. And I have had the opportunity to work with Gregg in many different facets of between Habitat and NIACC. And I also serve on our Contractors Advisory Association for the Building Trades program at NIACC. So we are in a unique position to be able to contribute to the program there, to encourage students and really give them an opportunity to get into the industry, as well as benefiting ourselves for being able to get into the school environment, meet with students, see their desires and their views for the future, and really just see that positive impact for the future of our industry.
Jennifer, it is fabulous. And I'm gonna ask a question, and I would like you to answer it first, followed by Gregg. So the neat part is you're both community members, right? They're in Iowa, and being involved in the impressionable time, right, of someone post high school, and what does life look like? This is all relatable because of the experiences you guys had growing up. And I think it's amazing that this program also is involved with Habitat because of the work that not only the school does for the students, but that Habitat does for a community member to make an affordable home. So this skill set here, right, this introduction to trades, this detailed introduction and how it expands forward, like, give us your delivery, Jennifer, on how important this is for the community, for you yourself, and for the students and their future.
Absolutely. So I think one of my favorite parts in seeing the students on a Habitat job site is that not only are they learning the skills that they're going to use for their entire lives, but they're getting an opportunity to meet the homeowners, to meet volunteers in the community, to hear feedback in real time about how important and real the work is that they're doing on a day-to-day basis. And above that, rather than seeing the construction industry from a viewpoint of a textbook and a shop, they're getting to see things in real life and being able to learn how to rework things, learn how to overcome weather challenges or materials challenges. We all know that kind of stuff never happens, right? So they're getting these really real tangible lessons throughout that whole process. And I think having that community involvement both ways is bringing more emphasis to the industry, and it's also just creating this really positive environment for vendors, for Habitat, for the school, and really creating a positive impact on those students and seeing in real time the value of what they're doing.
Yeah, I guess I'll follow up with that as well. You know, when I first started working here, the pickup truck, it's since been painted NIACC blue. It was red. It's an F-350 dually. But one of the things that it said right under our logo is learning our skills by serving our communities. And that stuck with me. You know, that was not original to me, but it's kind of the idea that, you know, it doesn't have to be a separate entity where you're not only are they learning the skill set that they need, but in the process, they're helping the community, and hopefully that'll carry through as they become productive members of society. Whatever, they may not end up being a full-time builder, but there's some skills that happen there that you can't do in a textbook. You can't replicate in a mock-up in the shop. You have to really be at a site to be able to do that. And meeting the homeowner, you know, being there at the dedication of the building, what a powerful thing. And sometimes when the keys are turned over, you know, there's hardly a dry eye in the place, because you realize what happened for this to come together, and that somebody's going to get to live there. And we help to make it affordable. And so it's a great thing. It's a win-win all the way around as far as I'm concerned.
Greg, I love that. And I love that you are also, both of you kind of speak the same language of experience. Is there any project that sticks out in your mind that you'd like to share with our audience that really gave the students not only satisfaction and relevance to what the classroom can teach them at the site, but really what you have saw, you know, you've had an extensive career in construction, and now, you know, being able to use those skill sets and to teach somebody else, it's kind of like that. You know, you could take someone fishing, but if you teach them to fish, they'll be able to live longer, kind of thing. And that's kind of what you're doing. And same thing with Jennifer. So it's so grateful, because this is where it all begins. And it begins at this dynamic, you know, level of education. So do you have any experience, or can you share anything with our audience about what you've seen?
You know, gosh, there's so many. To pinpoint one would be hard, but you know, I think with Jennifer, we partnered on summer camps for young ladies to try to get women in the trades, and then some of those same young women have ended up in my program, taking my program, doing internships, becoming successful. But you know, at all levels, it's just probably the biggest reward is walking onto a job site as a tour with my current students that is being supervised by a former student. You know, we have students that are doing $12 million projects now, and knowing that you had a little bit of a part in that, and you got to stay humble all the way around. I mean, I learned things from the kids every single day. They may have worked for another contractor over the summer or whatever, but collectively we bring all this together, and the synergy when you're doing a project with one goal in place is amazing. And you know, I wish we did get to help with an ABC Extreme Makeover Home Edition once too, and 24/7 some of the students slept in their pickup trucks and were out there with the lights at night helping that. We never got to meet Ty Pennington face to face, but we were close to some of the others, and you know, so there's a lot. And it's this Morton Buildings thing, it's all about partnering. And I will say this, as many years as I've been doing this, my introduction to Mark, and what's kind of springboarded from that, just in the last 9 months, has been absolutely incredible. The network of people, including yourself and others, that just, you know, that takes this to a whole new level. With my students, to be able to bring all that experience, and all these people that are willing to either come here or do a Zoom meeting or help train the next generation, the passion that's there, that's super rewarding too. And there's so much more, but in a nutshell, that's a start at least.
And Jennifer, you have had this extensive career, work for a builder, doing business development, doing sales, VP, the list goes on and on, and then local president of the board for Habitat for Humanity. Is there anything that kind of sticks out for you that you'd love to share with our audience about a greatest success story?
Oh man, I think as Greg said, the list goes on and on. I think him mentioning the girls' camps is so huge to me, because obviously, as a woman in construction, and what better week to be having this conversation, I think, than Women in Construction Week. Anytime that I can encourage another woman who is in the industry or who is considering the industry, I think that is huge. And in those camps, to see those girls come in and not know if they could do something, if they could succeed at it, and just washing away all that doubt and doing it and making something and creating something, and then seeing at the end what they've put together and what they've made, and just that pride that they have is just phenomenal. It's absolutely wonderful. And through Habitat, we also do a Women Build Day every year at our local office. And so that we have no guys at all. They come and serve us lunch, which is wonderful. And it is a whole crew of about 40 to 50 women who we generally build all the walls for a home in our area. And we have women who've been doing that for 5 or 6 years. They come back every year. They love it. But every single year, no fail, I hear one of our participants tell me, I didn't think I could do that. And I think that is just huge, that they come out there, they try it, they give it a whirl, and they were successful at it. And so anytime we can change minds like that and show people that there's value in the industry and that people have more skill than they think they have, I think that's a win.
Total win, Jennifer. 5 years of doing that, and now you said 40 to 50 people come back every year, or new faces too. Like, this is a remarkable example. And for the folks that hear this interview, remember that this fine example could be taken on by you and your friends and family for your community. That's the point of sharing that message that Jennifer and Greg just gave. I don't want to get choked up by it because it's pretty inspiring. I'm gonna dial it to the high performance world. So what's been impressionable for me this past year is meeting Greg and learning about this wonderful project between the students and Habitat for Humanity. Now, many people have heard about Habitat, but each region and each local chapter has unique delivery that they create based on the need in their community. This is special. So you guys took on this year an added step of incorporating building science principles, right? Not easy to take on. It's hard enough to build a house. It's hard enough to build a house with students. It's hard enough to even get your mind around high performance. So I'm gonna have Jennifer pause because she answered last time, and Greg, you answer, and then it goes back to you, Jennifer. So building science is big. Air sealing's been taken on, right? Insulation has been taken on the exterior of this home, right? Weather control. Greg, where do we begin this conversation? And what has been the aha moments with these students as you're rolling out this incredible path?
Well, part of something, the spark was lit in me when we started our conversation. Not that we haven't tried our best to build good energy efficient homes and even Habitat as a whole, but opening up this realm of building science, and then being able to sell that to the customer that this is long term here. It's about indoor air quality. It's about the cost of energy. It's about the carbon footprint. There's so many things and realms into that. But what's been exciting about that is some of the people that I've met in that realm have helped tremendously along the way, because I'm new to some of this and offered advice. Jennifer's been a good sounding board for me, and with her position with Habitat, she's been a support of trying some of these initiatives. And I can't tell you how excited the Habitat lead carpenter was when they found out that we were featured on one of the T-Stud inventor Brian Iverson's TikToks and some other things that have had over 2,000 hits. They would have had no idea. And when Brian said this is probably the first habitat house in the country that's using T-studs, you don't do innovation just for the sake of doing innovation. You have to know that what you're doing, that there's value to that for the homeowner and the structure, and that you're not sacrificing anything. And the research I've done, I'm very confident in the things that we've done, but the end result is it's like win-win all the way around. It's cost savings for the homeowner. Jennifer mentioned companies getting on. Rockwool donated the entire outer blanket or sweater, as I've heard it called, of 1 inch comfort board. And Chris Jessen with them came, and literally in an hour and a half on a day that was like -10 wind chill, we had all that thing covered on the outside with students. He did the basic training. I love that about these vendors, is that they're willing to get out there and bring sales reps and industry experts out there to actually help with installs or get involved. And so, T-Stud gave a discount on it. There's other things that are happening behind the scenes that are a lot of fun. And even if I had to take some of my operating budget to help make some of this happen, I know that there's 12 more habitat houses to be built here in the very near future. And I'm hoping that with this inaugural one, that'll be encouragement. I think other habitat home houses will want to get on board, because our director locally talks to all the national habitat directors, and they're like, well, we don't think any other ones ever used a T-stud. We've never heard of this. And so then you have to do your due diligence and try to prove what you're doing is positive. And they're excited now, but initially it took a little bit of communication to try to show the value of that. So Jennifer, what do you think?
Well, I think just the conversation around performance building and sustainable construction is growing, and it is so important and so valid as we're, seeing more impacts from climate change and from energy costs. And, the industry is going to be forced that way. Why not embrace it, I think? And I've always been a little nerdy for building science anyway. So to see NIACC and Gregg's building trades class take this and run with it, I think what better opportunity to be the catalyst for researching building science than from the school level. So they can try things out, they can test things and do case studies. And so we can learn, I think, from what they're trying and testing in real life. And then on our habitat project, that turns around and creates a better product for our homeowners. So whether that's lower energy costs or a safer, healthier house, I think that's a win across the board, definitely. And so, thirdly, I think as the kids get their hands into the building science side of it and get a chance to see the new technology, new research, and the cool products that are coming out, that is something that I think is going to help engage students and drive us into that future, because not only are we embracing, electronic technology, but we also need to embrace construction technology, technical technology. So whether that's new forms of materials or using materials in different ways than we have in the past, I think that's going to be really important moving forward. And I'm just really grateful that our local habitat was willing to, take a risk on this and take a chance and let us kind of run with the research of these new products. And so far it's been really successful.
Jennifer, it couldn't have been stated better than how you stated that the craftsmanship and the details that are expected of your team is high caliber, because it's going to be someone's home, right? And also it is the future of these students. I wanna comment on something that happened at the early stage of this. So we all know you start a construction project and you have the plans and you have the land and it's all developing, and weather comes upon us and things happen. I want to commend you guys also for pivoting in that early stage while that site prep was happening and all the weather patterns that were happening then. You guys turned around and built the walls at the school, delivered them, to the project site and had them installed before lunchtime. So quick pivoting for panelization. This is so impressionable. Not only is that pivoting impressionable, but the results of a dry-in building and the fact that your timeline was not enhanced, it was shortened. I'm glad I remember that at the last minute. And I think what that will also bring is for the students in the marketplace to hear, oh my, weather hit our area too. And now we know how to handle it because of Habitat and because of Northern Iowa Community Program. It's fantastic. Gregg and Jennifer, the work you do is exemplary. It's an honor to know you. And Audree, what do you think?
Wow, you just kind of wrapped that up so well. I think the one thing that really stood out for me in this conversation was learning our skills and helping our community. And that's what both of these individuals are doing at such an amazing level. We honor you. We are so grateful for you. We know that this is how we change the way we build. We love that you're entertaining these offsite solutions, creating high performance building, and you're doing it with the next generation of our creative people, our creative specialists that are going to come out of this so much brighter and gain so much more clarity as to how they can build and build better. So thank you, Gregg.
Thank you.
So happy you're here. And thank you, Jennifer, for your time today. We really appreciate you. And we love your story about women and bringing them up and bringing them in, because that is one of my biggest passions as well. So thank you for all that you've been doing.
Thank you so much.
And Mark, there we go. We wrap up another series for OffSite Dirt. Please check this out on the High Performance Channel series. And thank you again for being here. And thanks to our high schools, thanks to our college teachers, and thanks to the people that make an impact like Jennifer and Gregg have done in Iowa. Thank you for being here.